Well, hey there, everybody. As my good pal Deluxe would say, it's Tuesday, it's 9 Eastern, and welcome on into Zero Hour, where I, your host, Extra Zero, go over all the Transformers news I find interesting in the week and try and digest it in about an hour or so. If you're watching me here live on YouTube, thank you very much. I would not be able to do this show without all the awesome people who tune in each and every week. And yeah, I'm back from vacation. It's kind of like a triple play on tonight's title because I'm back and two other people are back. We'll get into that. If you're new here, welcome on in. I as I said, wouldn't be able to do the show without all the awesome folks who tune in each and every week. And yeah, if you're watching me on the replay, thank you very much. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, it'd be awesome if you could smash that like button because it does help me out in the algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed, hopefully tonight is the night that I earn your subscription. So if you like what I'm doing here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. We should be going live on Saturday. Lance supposed to do some content, and that's going to be a good time. Yeah, I had a good week off. It was nice just getting to escape work and spending some time with family. We went to the Carolinas for the week. Unfortunately, we got hit with a bit of rain, but we did get some good beach days, and so that's always nice. It's good to spend time with my cousins, my wife's family, and unfortunately, I did have one of my aunts not with us passed away. An aunt that lives out of state, so it was a little bittersweet towards the end of the vacation to get that news, and ended up taking off on yesterday. God, the time has just flown by. So yeah, just trying to figure out her arrangements and all. Yeah, so kind of some sad news there, but there's some happy news peppered in. I'm looking forward to revealing in the coming weeks. So yeah. Let's see, we've got some folks in the chat already, and if you're watching live, pop into that chat over there because I like to make you all part of the show, highlighting comments and having people chime in throughout the different discussions we have. So don't be a stranger and drop a comment if you're watching, and we'll be reading the comments throughout the course of the show as well. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, not really so much on the official news, more like the media and entertainment stuff tonight. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. And if you do check out my link tree, I have the link to the Gronky Gaming podcast, and I'll probably be popping in and out this week as we're covering Gamescom. And fingers crossed, I really hope that Saber Interactive announces what they're working on with Hasbro, and I really, really hope it's a Transformers game. It'd be so nice if we finally got that reveal, or any Transformers games revealed this week. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see, since they didn't do anything at Summer Games Fest. Gamescom's going on. Maybe they'll save it for the Game Awards this November. Who knows? But we've got some time left for Gamescom. Maybe they'll slip it into the Xbox reveal, or the Xbox showcase, since Activision is owned by Microsoft now. Maybe they'll announce the remasters finally. Something. It'd be nice to get something, either a way for people to get Devastation, War, and Fall again. Maybe some plans with Activision for a new game. Maybe the new Saber game is a Transformers game. Don't really know. But if any of that content is revealed, I might do a little something and talk about that. Especially with all the merch coming out. They've got so much Devastation merch coming out. It's kind of nuts. So before we get into all that stuff, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off. And before I even say hi to the chat, we're going to kick things off with this week's Figure of the Week. And this week, I've got an interesting one for you. Everybody and their mother is talking about this guy right now. And this is, in its own right, an amazing figure. This is the Studio Series 86 Megatron. And he's great. Again, they took... Oh, I've got his... There we go. Before somebody goes, hey, you had his barrel on backwards. No, I didn't. I fixed it. But this isn't my figure of the week. As great as this guy is, I've been enjoying messing with him. My figure of the week is actually the SDCC exclusive. That's right, the Timelines Megatron from Hearts of Steel. And this is just a really, really fun figure. So he turns into a cannon, but like not, the cannon that you'd expect. You can actually leave his fusion cannon on throughout the course of the transformation, which I really like. Now, he's a deluxe scale figure, and he's actually really simple transformation. I mean, some people might argue that it's a little on the boring side, but I don't know. Sometimes, there's just something nice about a simple transformation that's effective. And I think this guy is it. So, again, this is Megatron from Hearts of Steel. And so far we've gotten Starscream, Megatron, and Optimus and Bumblebee. Again, I think that I talked about it before I went on vacation that Nate from Hasbro really wants to do a Soundwave. I'm sorry, not a Soundwave, a Shockwave. So we get the Steamboat Shockwave. And I also wouldn't be shocked if we got the two other Seekers. We got, because again, that'd be kind of a slam dunk, right? Just do another 2-pack with Skywarp and Thundercracker. I think that would be kind of a dub right there. But, here we get really simple transformation. He turns into like an actual cannon. And I love this. This is a really unique alt mode. It makes sense. I mean, it looks menacing, these wheels, man, with the spikes. And he's just super easy to flip back and forth. Yeah, you can even see, like, I'm just leaving the cannon on here. And this is just a cool figure. I think these are still in stock over on Hasbro Pulse. I'll fact check that right now. But yeah, these were an SDC exclusive set. I think that there are a lot of people that were just, kind of like, on these sets, they don't have a connection to the comic, or, they didn't like the fact they're SDC exclusives. They are sold at, not a huge markup. Oh, I forgot to flip the little cannons out on the wheels. My bad. But need a spudger to get his hands out. That's like my only kind of gripe. Of course, doing this on camera, I'm fumbling a little bit. But yeah, this whole set's actually really nice, and it's cool having, a nice little Prime, a nice little Bumblebee, and Starscream from Hearts of Steel. It's nice seeing that comic get a little bit of love. I know we're supposed to get comic characters in Studio Series in 2027, I think it was. And yeah, there he is. Flip that. And the Bumblebee in this set's really good too. I really like this Bumblebee. I think he's a better train than the Optimus is. And yeah, I recommend this set a lot. I mean, yeah, both of the SDCC exclusives are still up. You can still even the Prime and Starscream are sold out. The Void Rivals Jetfire is still there. And yeah, the Megatron and Bumblebee set you can still get over on Pulse. I did not get the Void Rivals set. I'm happy with the Siege Jetfire. I mean, I think what really killed it for me was the fact that the faction symbol, I don't even know if they show it. You go back to Pulse. The faction, and I get it's like comic accurate, but they have like the faction symbols on here just sculpted in white, but you can flip them. It would have been nice if they just left a solid red and solid purple Decepticon and Autobot insignia on there. So yeah, that and that price, I'm not paying. I get that you get the two little 3 3/4 inch figures from Void Rivals. It's cool they're in there, but yeah, just I don't know, I don't think it's worth it. But the Starscream and Optimus pack, they're pretty good, but if you get one, Of course, I have a USB. I packed so many USB cables when I went on vacation that we didn't need. If you get one set, get these guys, and definitely I get this guy. I mean, it's really cool to have two amazing Megatrons released back to back. I mean, this guy is like probably like one of the best mainline Megatrons, and I really hope they do a G2 version of him. And this guy's just a really cool novelty, and that's why the Timelines Megatron is this week's Figure of the Week. All right, let's say hi to chat before we get into some of the convention news. We got a lot of people popping off in here. We got my dude Sandro Franco saying howdy. Good to see you, Sandro. Hope you're having a good night. We got Princeton Phalanx coming in saying hello. Always good to see you, Princeton. And also coming in saying nothing like watching a replay while live. I mean, hey, if you want to multitask and you got a tablet and you just want to rewind, if I slip up, I mean, I tend to do that when I'm memeing shows. I'll have like my phone going and I'll have the stream going on the TV and I'll have to rewind a little bit. So if you watch Gronkin Gaming or any of the other shows I covered, that's how I did it. Hey, they got 2 views in it. We got my dude Angry Canadian saying howdy, good to see you. And we should be meeting up this fall. So I'm excited for that to happen. Hopefully we find some cool spots in DC. Maybe we can do some collectible hunting while we're out there. And Prince also saying, what's up with that Masters of the Universe game coming out? That game is being made by Bitmap Bureau, who's a really good developer. They specialize in a lot of 2D retro games. I think Xeno Crisis being their biggest one. That should be a banger. And I love the fact that game is like really based on Golden Axe, like right down to the power-ups. I'd love to see a retro Transformers game, because really back in the 16 and 8-bit era, we didn't really get anything. We got the lousy Mystery of Convoy game that was a Famicom exclusive, and then there were I think there was the Commodore 64 game that was pretty lame. I would just love to see somebody do a proper 2D Transformers game, be it a beat 'em up, be it like some sort of like puzzle platformer. A Metroidvania game would be amazing. Just something, because we definitely need one. In the 32-bit era, we didn't get much better with Beast Wars. We got that really bad first attempt, and then we got the guilty pleasure game, which was the Beast Wars Transmetals game, which I think is an okay fighter. A lot of people hate it, but maybe it's the nostalgia goggles on, but I liked it. Hey, we got Mark44 Prime coming in saying, yo, what's up, buddy? Finally caught you live. Good to see you, Mark44. It has been a minute. Good dude right there. I'm glad that you're here. And Sandra saying, you want a new Transformers game? Best I can give you is some Call of Duty skins. I would not be shocked. If that happens, because like Call of Duty is like the new Fortnite, and Fortnite has Transformers skins. So when we get into some of the media stuff, maybe there's room for it. We got Big M coming in saying, what's good, everyone? Good to see you, Big M. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And that catches us up on chat. So let's get into some of this media news. So we'll kick things off with the convention stuff. Hey, we got Tris coming in saying, extra dub the GOAT. Good to see you, Tris. Hope you're doing well. So we got one new guest announced for TFCon Chicago, which is coming up sooner than it seems, really. I mean, like this whole summer kind of flew by. So October 24th through the 26th. And sadly, I won't be attending this one. I will be going to a convention in the near future. We'll get to that in a little bit. Alex Milne, very well-known comic artist, really mostly known for More Than Meets the Eye. He tends to go to a lot of TFCons, and he's going to be at Chicago. So I know a lot of people love to get art and autographs from him, and I know he does commissions and sells prints while he's there. So if you are going to Chicago, good opportunity to get one while you're there. So again, I won't be going to Chicago. I do have a few friends that are going. Patriot Prime, I believe, and Deluxe will be there. I probably will tap one of them on the shoulder to get me the last bit of the MMC Assaultus while they're there, so I don't have to wait for Dojo or A3U to get theirs in stock, since the yeah, the fourth bot has yet to ship. So, yeah. We also have TFCon Los Angeles coming up. Kind of buried the lead there. That's going to be March 6th through 8th, 2026. I won't be going to that, unfortunately. I know Lance has made an open invitation for me to go, but this one I won't be able to go, and you'll find out why, because I got something really big happening in February. And yeah, we got some cool guests already announced. So actually, no, we don't. They carried over all the stuff from 2025. So never mind. Disregard all this. We just have the date. I was like looking at this. I was like, oh, they already got a lot of. No, it's the 2025 stuff just carried over. So I'm sure there will be a lot of info soon. They don't even have the ticket info up quite yet. So be on the lookout for TFCon Los Angeles, March 6th to the 8th. I'm sure we'll know what the Midwest or the East Coast convention is by the end of Chicago. I'm hoping it's going to be Baltimore, or I would love to have them come back to Virginia. Like, I really like the Virginia convention that they have. I mean, they call it like DC, but it's really not. So I think that's also a good central location. Even Charlotte. Like, I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, you know, if they did TFCon in Charlotte, would you want to go? And she's like, yeah. My wife loves the Carolinas, so it'd be a nice little getaway in the fall. So going to be interesting to see where it is. I doubt they'll do Chicago back-to-back, so I'm hoping it'll be an East Coast one. And Baltimore would be the easiest one, but Reston, Virginia, that's probably my favorite spot for them having the conventions. Next up, we got Cyberworld. 5th episode came out. And actually, this was actually a pretty good episode. I wish the series was a little, or like the episodes were a little bit longer. But this episode kind of picks up where episode 4 left off, with Alita and Skybite duking it out with Bumblebee and Optimus following behind. We get a new character introduced, which is pretty cool. I don't want to spoil. It's only 5 minutes long. And they go to a new location. They go to Cyber City. And there's a character that they fight against that you wouldn't expect. A lot of action in it. Pretty good stuff. So I recommend it if you're watching. It's really made for kids, but it's fun. And I mean, they're bite-sized episodes. It's actually getting pretty decent views. I'm surprised. Like, it came out 3 days ago and they have 54,000 views. So I'm going to be really interested to see how this line does, you know, being the first show to premiere on YouTube again. I just wish that it was a little bit longer. You know, I could do with like 10, 15 minute long episodes. Another one on YouTube. Yeah, this one's not official, but Chris McFeely, he does really good kind of retrospectives and Transformers documentaries. And he just put out a video a few days ago, about the same time as the new Cyberworld episode. I highly recommend checking this out. It's called Generation None, The Lost Pilot. And he goes into detail about what the show almost was. The show really almost went down a completely different path per Marvel Entertainment. And he goes into detail about how they commissioned a writer, Jeffrey Scott, to develop a new take for CBS. And he goes into detail about the show we never got. So it's a pretty long retrospective, about 50 minutes long, and it's actually really, really good and really detailed. So I recommend giving that a watch as well, and giving Chris a subscription. He and Rodimus Primal, they do really, really good Transformers retrospectives, and there's a lot of detail that these two come up with, or not come up with, but include, that just, you're not going to find on a wiki. You're not going to find just floating around. They really do their homework, especially in this episode that Chris just put out. A lot of stuff I didn't know, and I've been a lifelong fan. So definitely go check that out. Now, so the title, he's back. It's not just me. But number 2, we've talked about this before. This comes from Deadline and being reported by the Hollywood Handle that Paramount is I guess they meant to say moving, but Paramount is looking forward to bring back Michael Bay to the Transformers franchise. Script should be ready for new leadership to take a look at shortly. Again, that came via Deadline. And also Screen Rant did an article kind of basically echoing a lot of this. My buddy Trey definitely wouldn't like me linking a Screen Rant article. If you know Trey, you know. But yeah, basically, you know, the movie, they go into detail. The movie came out in 2007, and they kind of waffle back whether or not this is either going to save or kill the franchise. I lean more to, and again, I don't like the Michael Bay movies. They have their, you know, they have their audience, and I know a lot of younger people like the Bay movies. My buddy Treebot is a fan. I like Transformers. I don't like, you know, B plots about humans being the main movie. That's a ramble. But the fact of the matter is, it's going to be 20 years in 2027 when this movie finally comes out, and they will probably have a lot of people that are going to be excited for this. I mean, it'll be a 10-year break from The Last Night, which was the fifth and final Bay movie. So, you know, again, it's been 10 years. It'll be 20 years since the first movie. I think that there's going to be a hunger for it. And I think that they could actually get a lot of people excited about Transformers that, you know, either they fell out of the franchise, you know, they were kids when it came out. Now they're adults with disposable incomes, you know, kind of cycling through, doing like what they did for the 80s kids like me. And it's kind of crazy to think about that, right? Because 2007, we were talking about it like, oh my God, it was like 86. It was like almost 20 years ago that, or over 20 years ago that the Transformers, the movie came out. And now it's almost 20 years since the first Michael Bay movie came out. But I think they'll be able to get people in with him in there, whether we like it or not. And I guess like Hasbro's probably chomping at the bit going like, oh, this is going to keep Studio Series alive. But, you know, according to reports here via Screen Rant, the movie is going to be written by Jordan Van Dina. But it's unknown if this is going to be a new timeline, a reboot. My guess is they're probably going to find some way to bring Shia LaBeouf back, maybe bring Megan Fox back, since those two, they may be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but they've calmed down a little bit. So, you know, not to mention the fact that these movies have like the loosest continuity ever, maybe next to the Fox X-Men movies, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that they'll bring Shia back and they'll bring Megan Fox back and bring them back together, and you know that'll get butts and seats. And I feel like, you know, they probably realize that the way to make money with movies is to have a media blitz and to sell merchandise and to not just like try and prime it for streaming. The big question is, will Peter Cullen be back? That's my big question. Or will they bring somebody else in? And I'm not too familiar with Jordan Van Dina, so I think it's going to be. Let's look at what he's done. And I should have looked that up. So, doesn't look like he's a big writer. He wrote "It's a Wonderful Binge," which I've never heard of. The Binge. What would Diplo do? Supermention, he wrote for Honest Trailers, which is an irony considering Honest Trailers really lampooned a lot of the Bay movies. The more interesting one is he wrote for the Animaniacs reboot from 2020 to 2023. So, yeah, I don't know. It could be interesting. It's not like these movies are ever going to get like, you know, big writers. So, what are you gonna do? But I would like to see something happen that just really reignites the franchise, because regardless of how I felt about the 2007 movie, it was really cool to go places and see like Transformers booming, and to see like the huge end caps and big aisles and all the merchandise, and for it to feel cool for the first time to actually be a Transformers fan. So we'll see. And speaking of Peter Cullen, we haven't really had any updates on his health. At TFCon Baltimore last year, Frank Welker had made mention that he was sick, and Peter was supposed to be at Steel City Con last December. So he canceled that. And a lot of people were really concerned and really worried, like what was up. Again, and everybody's entitled to their privacy, but I feel like a lot of us wanted to know what was going on. A lot of us were worried. I've never had the opportunity to meet him, and I've been hoping to. I missed GalaxyCon. I had purchased a autograph and a photo op for TFCon Baltimore, and he canceled. Well, good news is he is actually, it seems like he's doing better. He's actually going to be at Steel City Con this December. And this is up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from the 5th to the 7th. So they already have the schedule up. Not only is he going to be there, but Frank Welker is also going to be there. So they've got their photo op and autographs up. I'm going to do the photo op, and I'm actually going to be bringing my wife with me for the photo op, since one of the more interesting things when we first met, she had told me her favorite character was Eeyore. And I said, it's really funny. My favorite is Optimus Prime. And she's like, what does that have to do with anything? And I was like, it's the same voice actor. So she had no idea. So we're going to get a family photo with Peter Cullen. I'm really excited. Also there is Robert Englund and Katie Seagal. I might splurge for the autograph too. I don't know if they do like a bundle with Peter and Frank. I might, but I kind of just want to have the opportunity to meet him and maybe get him signed my 40th anniversary Optimus, the reissue that Walmart did. But I did get my tickets. So if you are in the area and you're at you're in the DMV or Pennsylvania area, I will be there Saturday the 6th. So just for that day, I'm not doing a 3-day, because we're just going to drive up. It's not that far from where we're at. We're in like the northern part of Maryland. So it's like a little 3-4 hour drive to get to Pittsburgh. But I told her about it. We're going. So I'm excited. And also there, Robert Englund and Katie Seagal. I'm going to be curious to see who else they announce. But for the time being, I just want to go meet Peter Cullen, walk around the convention. I don't know how much we're going to be able to walk around there, but I'm excited, and I'm excited to finally have the opportunity. I hope that he's able to make it, and I hope that he stays in good health, not just because I want to meet him, but legitimately, I'm hoping, that he has good health. And it would be cool to see him do, like, again, he's up there. It'd be cool to see him do some proper final acts as Optimus Prime. So really excited. And if you're going to Steel City, let me know. I'd love to meet up with anybody that's going to be there on the Saturday and hang out for a little bit. So there we go. That is our media news. So let's catch up on chat before we get into the official stuff. We don't have much for the official stuff this week, but some interesting stuff going on. And let's see, where did we leave off? We got Mega T-Rex Raw coming in saying, what's up, bots and cons? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And we got Boss Hog hanging out saying, nah, Kakarot, no homework. And fucking hell, Michael Bay. Yeah, I know the pain. And let's see here. Trish saying, one complaint I had about Bayverse, too much humans, and Shia was annoying. Yeah, Shia was, that no was pretty annoying. And yeah, I know I was not a young man. I guess I was still young when the first movie came out. I was 22 when the first movie came out. Kind of crazy. I'll be 42 when the next one comes out. And Boss Hog says, I'm sure it's only been 5. Yep. It was the Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, and The Last Night. Which The Last Night was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life until I watched the Ice Cube War of the Worlds. But I will tell you, watching the Ice Cube War of the Worlds with my cousins was one of the most fun experiences I've had watching a movie while reined in somewhere. Seriously, if you got a group of people and you just want to laugh at a movie, watch War of the Worlds on Amazon Prime. Team Man saying, I do not think they're going to bring back Megan or Shia. I think they'll probably bring back Shia. Megan probably would be the one that wouldn't. But I mean, what's she been in recently? I mean, they got her in Mortal Kombat 1. So I think if they throw like a, $500,000 or $1 million at her, she'll be like, yeah, I'll take it. So Boss Hogg's right. Not gonna lie. And I mean, Shia does like all the artsy stuff these days, but I do definitely think that he probably would take the opportunity because it's like, okay, it's been 20 years. This was, outside of his Disney career, Transformers was the thing that like put him on the map. It could be something to really boost his career. I think that his fans, which they do exist, would really like it. I think he's the more likely of the two. And yes, Peter is up there, but his voice is still good. So I would just like to have like one, a final, not like they kill him off, but like just something meaningful for him to do, because Rise of the Beasts, the movie was okay. They turned him into like the whiny version of Prime, the Optimus Mope. And I'd like to have like a, Prime, like a good Optimus Prime, right? And give him like a good send off and, have him be that hero. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm sure we're going to get news dripping out. And, I doubt that Bay's movie is going to have anything to do with the original series. I think they're going to, again, because the continuity for all of it is so loose. And The Last Night, as messy as that movie was, it ended on like such a cliffhanger. I think they would do their Unicron movie and just kind of like put a bow on it, or maybe see what they could do. If we get French Hot Rod turning into Rodimus Prime, then God help us all. But we'll definitely see what they do. And I don't know. Like, if I think that G.I. Joe Transformers movie is probably going to go in development hell. I think that Paramount probably looks at this and is like, after Rise of the Beast kind of was a drop off, and Transformers 1, again, that's Paramount's fault for sabotaging Transformers 1, but Transformers 1 didn't really make the dent they wanted. I think that they're looking at Michael Bay like this is our Hail Mary at this point. But I do hope that the franchise does turn around. All right, let's go into our official news because we got a bit to talk about. First, we got the Activate Your Alt Mode fan vote. And this was from last week. So if you didn't know what this is, they've been doing a poll on Instagram of all places. And, Hasbro every now and then does these fan modes or fan votes. The spoiler is when they do these are all figures that they intend on making. It's just, they're just trying to figure out, when should we release this? If you go back to these, they had them like for Mirage and Spinister, Windblade being another one that they claim the community designed Windblade when they probably just had a whole bunch of designs. They're like, let's narrow it down to a fan mode. But they started out with round one with character face-offs. You had Autobot versus Autobot, Decepticon versus Decepticon, Autobot versus Decepticon, and the round one winner being revealed on the 15th, just a few days ago. And then round two was voting for said character. And these are all established characters, mind you. Round two was voting for their alt mode. And then next, I guess, the next one, which is going on now, is voting for the alt mode direction. And then on the 22nd, they're going to reveal the winner of that. And then round three They're going to do specific alt modes, and then the fans are going to choose. And then on September 17th, they're going to show the character and their alt mode. So right now, this happened on the 18th. Right now, you can go and vote. If you go over to the Instagram page, you can see you can vote for a land, air, sea, or a wild card. Wild card could, I guess, be a beast or something, which I think is kind of silly. But it's going to be Shockwave. Shockwave is the winner. So we're going to get like a car or a boat or a beast Shockwave. Who knows? You know, they could even do the wild card and be like, oh, hey, we're going to do, we're going to just make it Shock Blast and call it Shockwave. You know, who knows? But we're going to get a new Shockwave with a new alt mode. So who knows? Maybe they'll just do like a larger version of the cyber tank from like Cyberverse or Earthspark. Or maybe give them a proper Earthspark. Who knows? But yeah, all of these characters are going to get like new characters down the line. So first we had Mirage and Grimlock, and then Starscream and Shockwave. And then it came down to Grimlock versus Shockwave, and now Shockwave came out the winner on that. So yeah, we're just going to get a kind of off the wall Shockwave here. And next up, we did get pre-orders solicited for the Optimus Machina Predaking, and boy, is he expensive. So this is from Hasbro Pulse. You can still get him on Hasbro Pulse. If you got a Pulse Premium membership, you can not pay shipping, but you still pay tax. So he's going to be very pricey. I went over the promotional video on this a couple weeks ago, and it does look nice. But again, I'm not in it for that. I've got the MMC Feral Rex, and I'm perfectly happy with that. ShowZ does also have pre-orders for it, but they don't have a final price. I guess he's probably going to be closer to like what some of the sellers on Amazon Japan have him for, which is closer to the lower 400s. But with the tariff situation and everything going on, don't expect to get this guy for the solicited price, the solicited Japanese price of $325. So fair warning. And he's not even that big of a figure. I wish this guy was cheaper, but you know he's going to have a lot of paint and die cast. I also, again, if you're interested in a Predaking at the scale, just wait for the inevitable Age of the Primes one to come out. I'm pretty sure you'll be happier with that one. It'll probably pose really nicely. I would love to see Moon Studios dust off what Zeta had developed to give us because the irony is if like Moon Studios or Zeta does a Masterpiece scale one, it's going to be about this price. That's the full irony of it. This is a 12-inch tall Predaking that really just, it looks nice, but it doesn't stylistically fit in with much. So, like, yeah. And I'm sure this thing's going to get KO'd and upscaled and will probably even be half the price of this guy. Princess said, I'll wait till it hits Ollie's. And T saying for that price, he's going to be on Hasbro Pulse for a while. I don't think he's going to be on Hasbro Pulse because what Hasbro Pulse does is they close the pre-orders for import figures, and then they're just gone. They've done it for all the MPMs. They've done it for all of the MPGs, all the masterpieces. They did it for Lunar Prime. And I do think, however, this guy may go on sale in places like TF Safari, not TF Safari, TF Source, BBTS, because I just, for a 12-inch figure, I don't see a lot of people finding this price digestible in this economy. So it would be nice if he hit Ollie's, but don't see it in the future. Now, what is exciting is we do have some in-hand pictures of the Transformers Masters of the Universe crossovers. The packaging, we got Megatron Armor Skeletor and Bumblebee Armor Man-at-Arms. And these two look pretty cool. I'm definitely going to get the Megatron. Don't know if I'll get the Bumblebee. I think these are going to be at mass retail. You can get them on Mattel's equivalent of Hasbro Pulse. But yeah, I really like that Megatron. I don't know why. But some in-hand pictures showing off the Shredder and the Mumra crossover, as well as the other Man-at-Arms crossovers for Ninja Turtles and Thundercats, and also giving you an idea. I mean, you know how big these Masters of the Universe figures are, but showing them next to their Studio Series 86 counterparts, and that looks pretty cool. I think it's kind of funny that they put the mace from the Centurion pack in there. So there's gonna be a lot of people going like, "Hey, why did my 86 Megatron not come with the mace?" But yeah, definitely a cool collab. I'm curious what they're gonna do for Optimus. I know it's gonna be He-Man, but I'm just maybe it'll be someone else. But it'll probably be He-Man for sure. But curious to see how that's gonna look. Next up, we get a look at the painted version of the HasLab Lyokaiser. And these came from Evan Brooks, the designer's Instagram account. And I don't know that this is a pre-production version of it, but it looks pretty complete. And there he is he looks so messy with Death Cobra on there. And I don't think that they've gone over or shown off any of the mold changes that these have had. I will say it does look decent as a set, and I don't regret skipping out on this. I think that, they do have, from what I can see in the picture, they do have less visible pegs, but I would like to see like an in-depth showing like what all the changes are for the Breastmasters there. And yes, they are called Breastmasters. But yeah, this guy, I'm curious too whether or not they're going to leave him in the oven a little bit longer, considering it was like surprising that we got the Omega Prime early, and then he came out with all the QC issues. So it'll be curious to see like what happens with this guy. But there you go. And the Titan saying he's hoping for a Mossman Starscream crossover just because it'd be a heck of a laugh. I'd be curious what they do for the Seekers, to be honest. That would be pretty cool if they did do the Seekers, but it'd be interesting to see what they would do. I think Thundercracker, like they did like the Action Master Deco with Mossman. Granted, I mean Mossman's a good guy, but you can make something really gnarly there. And let's see, we got some Blokies news. And they're giving us a Champion Class Megatronus, which we've talked about, but we now get their official images. And he's looking pretty good. I will probably pick this up because I really like the Transformers 1 Megatronus design. And I like these gold accents quite a bit. I think the Champion Class ones are about like $15, and they have the LEDs. And these are all renders, but you can see how they're going to look. And I'd love to see them tackle all of the 13. So there you go with that. We also get this interesting Moku Mega Optimus Prime / Brown. I know Brown is like a Japanese bear mascot. He's part of the Line Friends. And this is a weird collaboration. This is a larger figure, or a larger kit, I should say. And this one comes in at 25 centimeters. So he's about 10 inches tall. And they're only making 99 of the pink ones. I don't know what the significance of the pink one is, but 999 of the standard ones. And I like Blokies a lot. This one's just kind of interesting. I don't know why I like this. If the price is right on it, I might pick it up since T is saying it's Blockies. I want an official one. Like, is it Blokies or Blockies? I'd like to call it Blockies because that's how it's spelled, but like, I don't know. Like I've heard a lot of commenters say it's actually Blokies. But this is an interesting one. Unfortunately, they don't have the pictures here. Let me see if I can pull them up because I know I'm pretty sure TM Reviews shared this. Let's see if they posted them on the message board here. They did not. Let me go to TM Reviews post because he showed the picture that like made me like, oh, okay, I kind of want this. But But yeah, this is a model kit with the matrix and everything. And what's interesting is like the whole head actually opens up on the set, and there's like a little, yeah, here we go. And this is like the thing that like made me want it. Like I like how they have like all the little, like I don't know anything from Line Friends, but this little duck Bumblebee and like the little dude Megatron and this little command center mech. I don't know. It's cute. It's silly. It's an interesting crossover item. And so the Titan's also saying it's block. I'll go back to calling it blockies, but if anybody corrects me and says it's actually blokies, I'm gonna be like, But yeah, this is just I don't know like what it is about this thing. It's just neat. So this is gonna be available in September. Again, no pricing on this, but I'm assuming since it's blockies, it's not going to be that expensive. It's like $40-$50. I will definitely pick it up since I do really enjoy building these kits, and it's neat. Also, for a lot there, we had a whole kerfuffle about this Devastator combining accessory kit, how it wasn't going to be released in the US, and then a lot of people were upset since the individual Constructicons were. Well, now you can actually pre-order it legitimately. One, through Entertainment Earth, they've got a pre-order up for it coming in September, $5, so pretty cheap, which I wouldn't expect it to be too expensive since it's just a bag of parts. And then also through the Blockies website, you can also buy it there, and they do ship this to the US now. So if you were collecting the individual Constructicons and you were worried you weren't going to be able to get this, so again, this is all you get in here. It's just the head, the chest piece, the lower torso, the arms, and the blaster. You now can. So you can combine up your Devastator, and you don't have to pay scalper prices or ridiculous import prices. You can get it from sites like Entertainment Earth or directly from Blockies, and I'm sure other sites are going to have it there as well. Personally, I wish they would just sell this as a complete set, because who wouldn't want to just fast path it and get all the Constructicons and the kit in one box? But you know, I'm sure they're going to bundle it here, so you kind of can. But I would be cool just to get it as a complete set, and I'm sure they probably will, and I'm sure they're probably going to repaint them as well, since they've been doing that. They've been doing some G2 stuff. They've been doing, you know, chase figures and all. But yeah, I guess I'm not sure what these different. I guess if you buy all of it together, I guess maybe you can. I guess you just have to double check what all is there, but still, it'd be cool if they just did an all-in-one box set that had it. So there you go with that. Yeah, and see, I think you're right. I think they don't come all in one wave, so probably maybe this is your way of doing it. If we go back to the Blocky site, you can buy these 3 waves and the kit for $112.63, and you don't have to deal with it being, you know, blind box. But again, I wish they would just do a complete Devastator for you to buy. All right. Next up, we got our third-party news. We got some interesting cases to talk about tonight. So, first up, I don't normally cover 3D printed accessories, but this one's interesting. And a lot of people that waited for the Fans Toys Menasor probably want this. Now, I have the DX9 Menasor as my combined one, so I've already got a lightning bug. Granted, this one does look a lot more tune accurate, but this comes from Collector's Crafts, and they are doing 3D printed, I guess, fully printed and colored kits for the lightning bug. Now, these come in 3 scales. They come in an MP scale, a Voyager scale to go with your Legacy Menasor, and then a Legend scale one, which I guess would go with your New Age. And yeah, there you go. Now, the pricing on this, I understand 3D printing gets expensive, but $99 for the Masterpiece, $64 for the Voyager, $64.99 for the Voyager, and $34.99 for the Legends. And then sizes there too. So 9 inches tall for the Masterpiece one, 7 inches tall for the Voyager, and 3.5 inches for the Legends. Cool that it exists. I'm happy with the DX9 one, I'll be honest, which was also an accessory that turned into his gun. And now that I have the the Fans Toys parts, I just gave the gun, the proper gun, to my my DX9 Menasor. So now he has a proper gun, and we're all good. But if this is the thing you want, this is from Collector's Crafts, and they are associated with Funby. So there you go. And there he is with Megatron. And there's a comparison with the 3. You know, for the cost of this, it would be nice if it was finished a bit better, if they actually sanded it down, or maybe used a resin printer to get rid of the lines. And that, yeah, there you go. So you can see he's the Thing from the one episode. And yeah. Now, next up, this is an interesting one I didn't expect. Fans Hobby is reissuing their Power Baser and their God Armor. So if you ever wanted either of these two, you'll have a chance to get them again. The Takara Tomy Ginrai and God Bomber are out now, and I think there's a lot of people that just weren't happy with the scale. Personally, I like the God Bomber. I converted Power Baser into a comic version of Power Master Optimus Prime, so I have a Ginrai and a Power Master Prime on my shelf, but I did sell off the God Armor. But yeah, if you're ever interested in these two, they're going to be back. And also, according to Fans Hobby, they are straight up reissues. So no color changes, no changes to the plastic, no changes to the engineering, just straight up reissues. And next up, we get a look at a recolor of a DNA design kit. And I think I'm actually going to go in on this one. So they did the Jetwing Optimus kit for the Legacy animated Optimus Prime, and then they recolored it to work on Menasor, or I'm sorry, on Motor Master. And so this is their DK56A set, and what I like about this is instead of just making Motor Master into a, you know, cohesive Menasor, you actually turn him into a more animated looking Menasor. Now he's still missing the chest piece that Derek J. Wyatt had designed, but I think this like works so much better. And I probably will pick this kit up because I never got the Jetwing kit for Optimus, but I just think this looks so much better on Motor Master, and just kind of makes him look like a little mini combiner, and just really works well. And there's at first I was like, I don't know about these wings, but you can see you can actually configure them a bunch of different ways. You can take the wings off and turn it into a blaster, which I think is really cool. And actually, no, I guess the wings don't turn into a blaster. I think you just take them off. But, you know, all around, I think this is a neat looking set. I like how the missile pods kind of evoke the, you know, the look of Menasor. You can actually use the wings as like a stationary turret, which is pretty cool, which kind of is like the Legacy one. But yeah, I think I'm definitely going to pick this one up. I like it. I like it a lot, and I like how it just changes Motor Master. And I don't think we're ever going to get an animated Menasor set at all. So it's probably going to be the closest we get. Still retains the vehicle mode, which I think is pretty cool and makes him look more like a cohesive Motor Master, which is neat. So there you go. No pricing on this one, and I don't think that there's any pre-orders up. It's coming out pretty soon. It's coming out in November, and probably is going to be about $60 given what the other one was. But I think for what you get in here and for what it does to Motor Master, especially considering Motor Master is like on clearance for like $12 at a lot of places, pretty worth it in my opinion. Just, you know, granted, I paid the full price for him, but if you got him for $12, there you go. Now heading over to the X-Transbots Weibo, we get an interesting couple of tidbits. Their next bit of their Protectobots blades is actually coming out in September. So Gian finally getting a release, and Misfire is out. Their ballistic is already shipping. I actually have him on order from Agabus, and I should hopefully have him by the weekend. And then Razor, their take on a Bone Crusher. They've got pictures how he's going to look. So I know T just reviewed their I forget what his name was, the X-Transbot's name, but their Scrapper. I don't think he liked it too much. But I do think that the individual bot modes scale a lot better than the fans toys do. I think they look fine for that. If I were getting these, I would get them for the individual bot modes. But I think this is a really good looking Bone Crusher, to be honest with you. He actually has a waist rotation, which is nice to see. I think his proportions are good. But yeah, if I get bot mode Constructicons, they're probably going to be the MMC ones, to be honest with you. Well, yeah, they'll definitely be the MMC ones. Then we also get pictures of the Gravedigger and Razor, the youth versions, which are the toy deco ones, just renders. I know there's a market for these. I'm not too big of a fan. I think they look really busy. But again, I know there's people that like them. And yes, the Titan is right. There is that conspiracy theory that DNA is actually a portion of Hasbro. So I would not be surprised, and I'm sure DNA is probably not just. I honestly, if they ever came out with numbers, I bet DNA is probably the most profitable third-party company, period. Because the cost to make their stuff, the cost to produce it, the cost to ship it is probably so low versus the markup. You know, when they're selling these kits for like $60 and you got people that like buy every single one of them. Yeah. Hey, Sabertron Toys, good to see you. Hope you're having a good night, my friend. But yeah, those are the youth versions. And not to be outdone with announcements, Fans Toys is announcing that their Blitzwing is finally coming out. FT21 Berserk, they released a little sizzle reel here showing him. I don't know who they collab with to make these, but you know, showing him interspliced in the cartoon, and then they have kind of a actual in-hand video here. Am I getting this? No. I have the Dreamstar Toys Blitzwing, and I am very, very happy with it. This guy's coming in at $240 or $250. And I paid $85 for the Dreamstar Blitzwing, which, to be honest, is a perfectly fine Blitzwing on my shelf. I think it fits the Takara Tomy aesthetic pretty well. I think that, you know, the paint and the sculpt and the sword on this is fine. Even the Dreamstar has this option. Like, the only thing this has on the Dreamstar is it has a tune-accurate tank. On the Dreamstar, the jet cockpit tucks away, and you get a very cohesive looking tank. You get a tank the way it should actually look. I like the pearlescence on it, but I also just kind of like the, you know, standard beige on the Dreamstar one. So I know there's a lot of people that are excited for this one, and it'll be out soon, but yeah, this is going to be a pass for me. I'm not a Fans Toys completionist. And I really just, I kind of grown tired of like, after Mirage and Jazz, I've kind of grown tired of buying figures that were placeholders. Like, I'll go on a little rant before we wrap this up. We'll show off the New Age Legends Volcanicus, which is a gigantic Legends figure. Huge Legends figure. Unless that's just a person with a really tiny hand, that Volcanicus is going to be massive. I mean, probably twice the size of Combiner Wars Volcanicus. That's our last little third-party item for the evening. But I'm going to go on a rant before I wrap up the episode. So, I've bought a lot of figures that I've replaced and replaced and replaced. I'll give some examples. Huffer. I started off with the X-Transbots one. Then I got the Cube X one. Then I got the Bad Cube one. And now I have the Fans Toys one. So I had to sell 3 of them before getting the one that I was happy with. Warpath was another one where I bought the Bad Cube one, and the Fans Toys one came out, and I'm happy with that one. There was that one that came out that was kind of like a Chugster piece that I almost got, but Trailbreaker and Hoist, Bad Cube, X-Transbots, Fans Toys, Takara Tomy. I still have the Fans Toys ones, but again, you see where we're going with this. Hound, Make Toys, Fans Toys, Takara Tomy. And probably the most egregious one Jazz. Jazz wasn't the most egregious, because for Jazz I had the Make Toys, and then I moved over to, I had one before the Make Toys, and I got the Make Toys, and then I got the Fans Toys one. And Takara Tomy will do that eventually, and I'm a Takara Tomy completionist, so I'll get that one. I'm really just kind of spitballing here how I have a problem, but there's been a lot of figures in my collection that I've replaced. And when it came to Jazz and Mirage, so for Mirage, I had a few Mirages. I had the MMC one, which actually, no, I think I had the X-Transbots one briefly. Then I got the MMC one, and then I got the Transform Element one. And I was actually really happy with the Transform Element one, and it was really inexpensive. And then I was like, okay, well, the Fans Toys one's going to be great. And it kind of wasn't. I mean, it looks fine, but the Transform Element one also looked really good. And the Transform Element one wasn't a pain to transform. Same thing with Jazz. And I was like, when I replaced the Make Toys Jazz with the Fans Toys one, I was like, what am I doing? So I have that Dreamstar Blitzwing, which again, I paid $85 for. And I was really happy with it. It's fun to mess with. It's fun to transform. And it's like, what's the point of replacing a Blitzwing that I like with one that's probably not going to have like the best, engineering, that's probably not going to be fun to handle, that's probably not going to be fun to transform, that's probably going to have paint chipping if I transform it. And then I'm replacing an $85 figure with a $250 figure that shouldn't cost that, because Fans Toys really inflates their prices. I need to do a video on that. I need to go back and do like a restream of like when Bobby was interviewing Hung to Go, who I actually used to personally know him and buy from him, and he had a lot of good info. And I think a lot of people forgot about that. And despite the global marketplace and despite the the economic times, Fans Toys is fleecing people. They do put out good products, but the markup and the margins are like, Mega T-Rex said, I think they are. Yeah, it is Star Toys. You are right. Star Toys did put out I'm thinking Dreamstar is the company that does the hyper realistic combiners. So you are right. So yeah, the Star Toys Blitzwing and the Star Toy Trax looks amazing. Again, I don't really like to replace figures, but like with that Trax, I'm like, I want that to be my bot mode Trax, and the Takara Tomy one can live in its alt mode. Also, the Star Toys one is going to be relatively inexpensive. And we got Razo Kane reviews in here. Good to see it. He just put out a really good look. His Walmart got him the Sea Spray already. So go check out his Sea Spray review. And I also missed Mr. T in here. I think when we were looking at the Motormaster add-on kit. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode. And as I mentioned, Lance and I will be back this Saturday. I think we're going to be doing a Beast Wars tier list, finally getting that first wave of Beast Wars figures ranked. And as I mentioned, Lance is going to be in the area on in the end of August. So we'll be doing a collab. I do have the meetup planned for the 30th, but I may actually bump that up a day. And there's a reason why. I may move that to August 31st. I'll keep that posted on the community tab again. If you're in the DC, Maryland, Virginia, or Pennsylvania area, I'm going to be having a meetup at Bar Louie at 11 to 4 p.m. Originally, I was planning this Saturday, but they're doing a celebration of life for my aunt. It won. So I'm kind of conflicted because it's like, well, it's my aunt. It's, her funeral. So, I have an obligation. So I need to figure that out. I need to talk to Junkie on Crafts and Builds and figure out if I leave for a little bit, can he help me, get Lance back to I'll figure it out whether we have to move it. But I do need to attend the celebration of life for my aunt. But I also have a friend in town from California, and the 30th is his birthday. So it's going to be interesting to figure out how I juggle things. But the reason why I would move it to a Sunday is, well, September 1st is Labor Day in the States. So it's a holiday. So I think maybe people might be a little bit okay with, going out, having some beers and some food on a Sunday. So I had to make a decision pretty quickly how I'm going to work this out. But it's definitely going to be that weekend. And Lance and I will be doing some IRL content. Maybe I'll take him to All Time Toys, and we'll do like kind of a look around there, because that is a really cool toy shop. Maybe I'll do a toy hunt video for the channel. And the Titan, thank you very much. As my aunt, for those that didn't catch the beginning of the show, while I was on vacation, and she wasn't even that old. My Aunt Sherry unexpectedly passed away. She had liver and kidney failure, and before I could even make plans to get to Florida, she was gone. So my uncle's coming up to Maryland to do the celebration of life. Just knowing that, for a lot of people, it's going to be difficult just to travel down to Florida, especially with school starting. My cousins all have kids, and they moved to Florida, and all the families up here. So, we'll be going to be, the 30th is going to be a busy day, but going to make it work. And she's a lovely person. I'm really sad that she passed when she did. I'll have more to say on that in a little bit, coming weeks. But not to end on too much of a bummer. But yeah, if you are in the area, I'll have that posted when we're going to be doing it. But it'll definitely either be the 30th or the 31st that we'll be making it happen. So I need to talk to Junkyard Crafts and Builds. I need to talk to Lance, just figure out what's going to work. And I'll update it on the community tab, as well as the different Facebook collecting sites, and like DMV action figure collectors, DMV Transformers collectors, the Syndicate Toy Hunters. We'll be posting all that over there, as well as TFW on the different meetup, or the different meetup page, or not meetup pages, but sightings pages, just to let everybody know. And I did see the reissue of 86 Leader Grimlock here in Aberdeen. They had one. So anybody that's looking for him, unfortunately, he is the new $60 price, but definitely beats paying those scalper prices. And Raz, thank you so much. But that's going to wrap things up for this evening's episode. Again, thanks to everybody that came and hung out tonight. It's always a pleasure having everybody in the audience and chatting with you guys throughout the course of this. And if you're watching me on the replay, let me know if there's anything that you're really excited about. If you're going to be at Steel City Comic Con, let me know. I'd love to sync up with you there. And if there's if you're going to be at TFCon Chicago or LA, let me know. I want to know. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hopefully tonight's the night I earn your subscription. And if you do, ring that notification bell, because I'm sure we'll be having a posting for when Lance and I, it's probably going to be 10 when he gets done at the game shop. But it'll likely be the Beast Wars one. But we might just do, just a hangout discussion video. Maybe we'll throw the restream link out there for anybody to hang out. But that's going to do it. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. And until next time, Zero out.